Welcome back, everybody. Now, this year, as we've been reporting all morning, the ANC marks 113th anniversary, a significant milestone in the history of the party. However, the celebrations come at a time of significant challenges for the organization, including notable electoral losses and increasing concerns about its future relevance. To shed light on these developments, we joined via video link by Sandile Swana, a seasoned political analyst with extensive expertise in South African politics, and will be discussing the ANC's shifting role in South Africa's political landscape, the impact of recent electoral setbacks, and the key factors that may determine its trajectory moving forward. Mr. Swana, a very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome.
Good morning to you, Simpiwe, and good morning to the listeners of SABC. Thank you.
It's a great pleasure having you join us this morning. Now, the ANC's performance in the Western Cape has been a point of concern in recent elections. So what factors do you think sort of contribute to the party's inability to win over this province consistently?
Yes, the ANC specifically has never really won the same degree of support that the DA leads. And as far as I've seen the numbers, the highest they got is 46%, but they're at 21%. So the very first thing that you'd want to ask yourself is what type of leadership allows you to lose more than 50% of your base, to the point that to gain majority in the Western Cape, the ANC would at least have to increase by 2.5 times the current support. What type of leadership allows that type of decline? Two, when they lost the province in 2009 to the DA coalition, the factors there, number one, is that there was a push to drive out credible leaders from the so-called colored communities, such as Rasul, who has remained a credible leader till today, but the ANC chose to remove that and put other people of questionable merit, the squatters of this world and many others. Secondly, during the same period, they were factionalized to the point that some of them have openly admitted that during that election, ANC members, South African Communist Party members, were actually working to favor the DA in the election. So they were actually already working as double agents. And they've never recovered from the internal divisions within the ANC, some of them racially biased, some of them factionally biased around. As you will remember, that was the time the Zuma faction was gaining momentum in the ANC. And there were divisions around that as well. And corruption was clearly gaining the upper hand around those days. The corrupt faction of the ANC had mobilized itself and taken power in the ANC. And it has been downward from then on until today. That is always accompanied by serious non-performance. The people, both the colored communities and the Africans in the Western Cape, live in squalor, they live in ghettos, and in 30 years, the opportunity to die as a black person, a violent death, or to be abused violently in the Western Cape has increased. All of those things are a direct result of the careless leadership of the ANC in the Western Cape and nationally.
And I suppose that has been a point of contention, with the ANC blaming the Democratic Alliance for neglecting its people, and with the Democratic Alliance through its federal chairperson Helen Zille rubbishing those claims, saying that they actually take care of more people in the townships than in Camps Bay. And the Western Cape remains one of the most contentious regions for the ANC. So the big question that the ANC should be really looking into right now is, how can the party recalibrate its approach to governance in the province to build stronger support, especially in light of its poor performance in municipal elections?
Yes, the claims by the ANC that the DA is neglecting the black communities are far-fetched. The ANC, as the national government over a long period of time, and insisting, although it has 40% of the vote in South Africa, that it is still the one that must lead society, South African society. what the ANC government has done in terms of measurable progress is to diminish the standard of living of the colored community as well as the African communities across South Africa. The Western Cape disaster of the ANC is well documented. Now, on the issue of what the DA has done and not done, the attitude of both the DA and the ANC of austerity is a big problem, because the DA can fulfill all the mandates that it has to fulfill. But with an austerity budget, you will always meet the needs of a limited number of people. So the ANC and the DA both have got to actually abandon the so-called cost containment measures and the austerity measures, because as I have moved around, I have noticed that it is so difficult to find a government department, whether it's a police station, a school, anything that has got to do with this government, that is fully funded and fully staffed, correct, with all the equipment they need. And both of these parties are guilty of supporting the wrong funding policies of the state.
All right, Mr. Swana, lovely chatting to you. Thank you so much for sharing your analysis with us this Saturday morning. Sandile Swana there is a political analyst and well-versed with issues around the ANC, the political environment, and just every other socio-economic matters in South Africa. And he's been helping us discuss the ANC's shifting role in South Africa's political landscape, the impact of recent electoral setback for the party, and the key factors that may determine its trajectory moving forward as the party marks 113 years of its formation.